Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is that you're on here. Uh, Totally grateful that you showed up. We will try to enlighten you, inspire if we can, and just have a friendly chat. I'm going to turn it over to Chris so he can go through the housekeeping and people stuff that's important, and I'll try to fill in after he's done. Go ahead, Chris.
Good morning, buddy. I love you. I was dancing because my Christmas music clock, the only clock I go on, is playing. So I love Christmas music. Happy birthday to anyone that's got a birthday. Diane Craig, Colin Uden, Vivek Yadu, Sahala Kunahana, Okalandi Senwali, Emily Katie. I am just butchering these names. Ramson, Stephen Eds, Bianca Walker, and Mary Rowe. Happy birthday to you. It's a great day. You had a birthday. Lots of prayers going out today. I have nothing written down, but I know Ron Hobart's having a procedure today. Rob Gorman, Red's mom, Chloe, Julie Pierre's daughter. I know, just talked to Red a little bit ago. Jane's mom, I heard it on the live yesterday. Say some prayers for Jane's mom and Jane. Lots of prayers, guys. Pat Parent, really praying hard for you. And everyone else, I can't remember them all because this thing keeps erasing all my notes, but we're praying for you. And today, Marcy and Hemabo, our dancing queen, is holding a French webinar at 2 p.m. EDT. If you'd like to be on the panel, see Marcienne Hemabo. You know Marcienne. Come on, the dancing queen. And that's it for me. I'm going to hand it back to Marty. Let's see. I remember everything. Oh, like and subscribe. If you don't like and subscribe, you can't see our good-looking faces every day. But get on here for all the updates and the fun stuff because we're here to have fun. Marty, back to you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, prayers go out for everybody. Man, so many things you hear going wrong or bad. Huh, life ain't easy, that's for sure. No guarantees. Yeah, what I wanted to talk about, I always say the strongest part of this company is you, the people. And I wanted to use, I was using myself for as an example because I don't know anybody as well as I do me. And I know some of the things I forced myself to learn or understand, um, because it's more pleasant to go through life with a different mindset. And I'm not talking about just business mindset, I mean life in general. And I did this younger in my mid 20s as I was going through, and it got me by. As you know or you don't, I believe in God 100% in Jesus. And I mean, that's my life. I get it. I act crazy and say crazy stuff in my heart. That's number one. But I was thinking about the different, what you can work on self, what you can work, how you can work on yourself. We don't have a predisposition of things. Now, I mean, you could grow up in a negative family. Everything around you is negative, and you wind up being negative. Yeah, it's a product of your environment. Those things kind of happen. But I believe you can change that. I believe you can work. I know. I mean, I grew up in a really positive. My mother was amazing. My dad was a hard worker, but not the heartfelt type of guy. Even though he was, but he didn't show it. My mom was. That's all. 100%. And I was thinking about in Onpassive, and I know a lot of people get anxiety. When's this and when's that and when's that. I think a lot of people go through life always. Listen, life's about that. Nobody knows the answer. I mean, you might look for it. You might want to click on it, get a magic wand, go to a certain channel, listen to a certain person. They got the answers. Oh my God. The answer is there's no answer. But you can also navigate through this life a little easier. And I'm only saying this because it helped me. Cultivate, you're preparing the ground to have faith. You do the same thing in your mind. You got to work on it. You gotta get it. You got to believe. And like I said, because why? Because life is full of unknowns. Faith often involves that trusting things will work out, even when the path ahead isn't clear. Now that's what people do in Onpassive or any company. Because they can't see it, they have trouble believing it's going to be okay. But I want you to think about this. Ashmi Farah has this clear vision of where he wants this company to go. And he has the faith and the trust that it's going to get there. Even when worse things can happen, obviously. Thank God. That's trust and faith. Now, he believes he's here for that reason. I do too. He has the faith in himself and that reason to keep charging ahead. Thank God. Thank God. No joke. When faced with uncertainty, remind yourself that faith is about trusting the process, even if the outcome is not immediately visible. Practice letting go of what you can control and focus on what you can do. I have no control over the products. I have no control over what day they're going to launch. I have none of that. And the more I focus on what I can't control, I'm going the wrong direction. I have faith 100% that Mr. Mufara has the team. I have faith in him, and I have faith in him because he has faith in his team, if you know what I mean. It can be a couple generations. I don't know the people he's surrounded with, but because I have faith in Ash, and I'm watching and looking and listening how he's acting, I now believe that he has what he's been looking for. And if he does, my faith is increased because we're farther down the journey. Now I'm starting now. Did things happen? Yeah. Did it waver? Does it make your faith stretch out your faith, make you work on it? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't focus on what I can't do, but I can focus on me and I can try to help people work on themselves about thinking. I'm not doing this because I'm some kind of wizard. I'm doing it from my life. I did this and it helped me. Another thing that really helps, and this is fact, it's fact, and our company will prove it right now. Surround yourself with a faith-based community, right? Being part of a community that shares your faith and your belief can often encouragement and support and sense of connection. Do we have that? Yes. All over the world we have it. Now, does everybody feel? No, I mean, you're not going to have that. But everybody that comes in, even like say trivia, once they get there, first it's, I don't go to trivia, I don't know anything, I don't want to look like an idiot. But then you find out, I don't care if I look like an idiot. I'm around people and none of us care. We're all laughing and having fun. That's how I believe and that's how I feel. And that's a beautiful thing. While I'm hanging with good and positive, negative and nasty can't enter into what I'm thinking. Listen, I ain't that smart. I can only focus on one thing at a time. But if you always feed positive and what's going forward, it really helps keep you going. It helps you build who you are. Uh, Another thing I found out. Now this dog is chasing the cat again. Last time he did, he knocked the internet out. Stop! Gosh. Um, Practice gratitude in times of difficulty. Everybody's got a smiley face when it's a perfect day. Hey, how you doing? Hey, good afternoon. Hey, what's up? But when things are not good, that is when you need to practice gratitude. Be thankful. What does Ash do? And I'm not saying it's just Ash, a lot of people. What does he do? He looks at the good, even if it looks like 99% is bad. He refuses to look at the 99, he looks at the 1%. Now, somebody with his belief and being positive and always looking for good in people, does it burn him? Yes, probably hundreds of times in his life. That's part of it. But he never changes who he is. You still keep going because the more you do that, the stronger you get. And then what happens? People want to start following you like the Pied Piper. People that have a heart. People that are tired of living in negativity and guilt and I'm not good and I'm not worthy and I can't. Man, that's a horrible. I'm not saying I haven't done it. I'm telling you I've done it. Faith often involves trusting the bigger picture, even when things seem challenging. Our company, gratitude can help reinforce the trust by focusing on positive, no matter how small. We didn't get this, and this didn't happen, this didn't happen, but this did. How many meetings have we been in, really, for me, almost 6 years? And people go there wanting to hear what they want to hear, and they miss the positive thing that was said. Gold nugget comes out, boom. It's not the nugget they wanted, so they're looking, well, what about this and what about, and you lose the thought of where we're going because listen, destinations are small trips. They're step by step. You can look at things, hey, there's 10,000 bricks in a pile, or you could be the person that says there's a castle. I just got to put them in the right spot. It's just two different ways of looking at something. I'm not saying be stupid, but what's the alternative? If you can't change what you can't change, why feel bad about it? Look at stuff that you can be part of. Encouraging people, being nice to people, right? And gratitude can help you reinforce the trust by focusing on positive, no matter how small, like I said. So, and how do you do that? So during tough times, keep gratitude journal or reflect on what is going well in your life. It's hard. I mean, we've had some really hard times in my life here, in my life, and now. I got three children they're not here. They have anxiety problems, real bad. Shorty didn't want to go today. Let's walk around in circles. He's starting to get all worked up because they're going on a trip. Well, how am I going to know what happens if I can't have lunch and I don't have to walk them to? Look, you're going to go. You'll be back by lunch. Everything will be okay. Oh, okay, okay. And then she redirected how he's thinking. He went to school, and when she went up to, she goes, "Can I go out early and go to breakfast?" And Dawn said, "Yeah, go ahead." And he skipped away. It was fine. But that goes on with all of them. School, we got a call from Jaden. He won't do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. All of a sudden, he's Malcolm X. Okay. So I go, get your. So he wants to go to the principal. So he came home and I talked to him. Was I loud? Not really. No, I was a little upset, but I told him, I said, look, you're not pledging to a flag. You're pledging, listen, my brother died in Vietnam. Your great uncle fighting for this, fighting for freedom. Your great grandfather was in the military 20 years. Your other great uncle was also a lieutenant in the army, and he got killed off base in Fort Dix. But the whole family's in the military of some kind, fighting for the freedoms we have. It's all right to take a stance, but you're 13. Okay, Malcolm? Don't play that now. It's not about that kind of thing. I'm not putting down Malcolm X, by the way. I'm just making fun of him. Um, like I said, practice gratitude during difficult times. Trust in divine timing. This is what I found out about too. It's pretty cool. Why? Faith often involves believing that things happen for a reason and at the right time, even if it's not clear at the moment. Has that happened in our company? We're going, kaboom. And I don't mean kaboom, I mean implosion. And we're going, how could this happen now? Let's go to June, whatever it was. The implosion that happened this year, earlier this year, and Ash saw it. Okay, thank God. But the implosion that happened, I had the faith that we're going to get to it. I didn't like it because I could tell Ash was beat down like a redheaded stepchild. Okay, I mean he was smacked around, and it was, and if he is, I am. If I am, you are. If you are, I am. We're all one big team here, right? But the faith part of it is knowing that no matter what happened, and remember this, if it didn't happen, after the smoke cleared, he comes out with embers all over his pants and burnt in half. He would have never met this new dream team. Think about that. So would we have ever got to the altitude of his dream? And let's never forget, Ash's dream is for us to have and live our dream. So even when it's bad, there's some kind of clear thing that comes out of it. But it wasn't clear at the moment. June, the site goes down. It wasn't clear then, and many of our minds started racing around. I knew it. I knew this thing was gonna. My Uncle Bob told me, whatever. But if you practice as time goes on, you'll get ready. And I believe, this is my personal opinion, this is more than just happened by accident. I think we're here for a reason. I think the people that are here were meant to be here. I think the people that aren't here weren't meant to be here. It's just how I feel. Divine timing. I say it again. Divine timing. You want this thing, this business, this company to change lives for the millions. Doesn't have to have a pretty strong foundation. Doesn't it really need to be hit at its core? Doesn't it need to be racked and slapped around at its base? Yes. Why? Because as you build it, it can weather the storm. And we're weathering some nasty storms. Why? Because of Mr. Mufar did not give up. And most people would say, hey, I'm done. I give up. White flag. I did my best. I can't keep going. And I would have said, I don't blame you. If I knew what happened, we're going to find out, I believe. I would probably say the same thing. I know. Did it hurt me? Yeah. I got to go back to doing something else and surviving for the rest of my life or find something. And we'll never find a thing like Onpassive. Anyway, and as I was alluding to, reflect on past experiences. You'll hear Chris say it, I say it, all of you say it. You bring up the past to justify where we are now and make sense of it. You have to rationalize it in your head, right? Sometimes looking back on a moment when things work out, even when you weren't sure they would, can strengthen your faith in the future. Like, for example, when things had gone bad, the journey up to June, we had things go crazy. Timelines, we didn't know what was going on, whatever. But Ash always came out, no matter what it was. I'm going to give you an example. We launched September 1st of last year. Boom. Right before, we get a special letter from the government wishing us well. I'm joking. They weren't wishing us well. And right after that, the merchant thing collapses. That was gut wrenching. No more gut wrenching than it was for Mr. McFarland. Because I know without a doubt, and because he said it to me, maybe the second conversation I ever had, the big deal is getting people paid. That was his nightmare. He wants that more than anything. Of course. Why? He's been in this industry for 20 some years. He knows how important it is. But what did he do? He kept going. He kept going. Reflect on times in your life when you faced challenges but even came through them. Acknowledge how faith, whether in yourself or a higher power or others, helped you navigate through those times. Even though I might not have the power and the faith and the tenacity to keep going, Ash did. And there was, you remember that you had the saying where this man died and he saw a glimpse of his life walking through the sand, and then there was two sets of footprints, and all of a sudden there's one. And he said to Jesus, why in the roughest part of my life did you leave me alone? Why would you leave me there alone? And he said, it was then that I carried you. Ash carried us many times. I'm not comparing him to Jesus, so don't get crazy on me. He's a man, okay? I never do that. But when it got real bad, he carried us. What do I mean? Things crumbled. And what did he do while he's trying to get oxygen? Make sure they can keep O Connect for another 8 months for free. Nobody would do that. So reflect on what happened. This guy did that. So every time that happens, I build that up. I mean, I'm not going taken away. So anything that happens, when he said do or die, I hated that he said it. But he's proven it every day. Every day. And I'm just saying, we can all work better. We can work towards that. Surrendering control. I am a control freak. Surrendering the need to control every outcome. Trust instead of that things will unfold as they should. Trust it will work out. I don't know why you don't do that. And why doesn't he do that? She said this. Why would she say it? Why didn't she say it like that? Come on. We have enough trouble doing our own thing. I'm bad at this. I'm control freak. Not nasty control, but I want to, no, don't do it that way. No. It's got to, and I work on it every day. It's hard for me. Here's a very important one. And this is for me. When I'm saying I'm not talking down to you, I'm talking with you. Engage in acts of service. Helping others can deepen your faith by giving you a sense of purpose, connection to something larger than yourself. That's what Ash is doing. That's what most of you are doing. Anybody that you have that joined you, anybody that is with you or around you, I see it every day. The core is getting bigger and bigger and bigger of people helping other people through any kind of issues they have and whatever. And it will make you stronger, which makes the, the business stronger, which makes us all stronger. So it's a powerful thing. So I just wanted to go through that. Practice of letting go. We don't need to. Well, why don't they? Like I said, I need to do that. Affirm your beliefs. Why? Speaking or writing affirmations about your faith can reinforce your trust and belief. As soon as I find I'm only human, I find a slight little bit of, ooh, what are we going to do? What are we going to say? What are we going to? Before it comes out, I kick myself virtually. I can't physically do that, but I would. And say, no, straighten up. What are you talking about? The captain's going right. He's not stopping. I have no right to act like this. Okay, just stop. I never come on. You see me sweat or no, I never. I tell you what, I have talked to Ash on the phone in the last few years, right before a meeting, and he told me some stuff that went down, and it was really not a good day. He turned on that camera, nobody would know it. No one. Why? Because he cares enough about us so he doesn't hear. Everybody says, I want to know everything that's going on. Really? There would be like 10 of us here. But the outcome will be you're going to live a life you only dreamt of. You don't want to know everything. Trust me. We don't want to know everything. Create a list of affirmations. Tell yourself you're worthy, you deserve it, I belong here. Because I hear people start up a conversation with, well, I'm not you, and I can't, and I can't, and I would like to. No, bull crap. I'm not. That's not going to work. You have to tell yourself, look, this open area is equal opportunity advancement. You're not in a company where you got to work your way up and brown nose and all. No, you're the head of your company. You are the head of your business, and that goes down to what? Faith in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to believe you can, because if you can, you will. And if you will, you'll keep going. Don't look at what you can't do. I mean, why? It's a waste. There's another time you're wasting time focusing on something you have no control over. I'm never going to be a ballerina. Now, in my private time, I'm dancing like a ballerina, but I know it's not going to happen. All right. Anyway, kind of in closing, cultivate self confidence by reminding yourself of your abilities and strengths. Trust that you have the resilience and skills to navigate challenges, and that that faith in yourself can be as powerful as external faith. Work on it every day. It's ongoing. Nobody conquers anything. Life is a journey. The journey doesn't end. Growing doesn't end. But if you help each other, our weakest link will be the most powerful link on the planet. Anyway, that's all I have.
That's all you got? Very good, Marty. Very good. It was a lot. I'm going to try to be quick. Little thing that came into my mind. I was actually watching. Hold on one second. I was actually watching Gina Leva's live video yesterday. She was showing a beautiful blue sky. She says it's a rarity. And then she was showing these beautiful trees and the leaves turning. And I'm out there. I think it was 10 o'clock at night. I was sitting on my porch because it was actually a beautiful night, 65 degrees, a little cool, but nice. And I'm looking at my tree, my smart tree is what I call it. I'm looking at that tree and I'm remembering something that Jean said in that live she did about this tree actually was struck by lightning, and the bark over years has grown over that scar, and it just keep going. And then I thought about trees. And this is probably the silliest thing I'm ever going to talk about, but I promise you I will relate it to our brother Ash Mafara. And I'm looking at this tree, and every year I call it a smart tree because come springtime, this tree, we get like a 70-degree day, and all of a sudden the buds start coming out, these little red seeds, little buds. And I'm thinking, now I know what's going to happen. Mother Nature is going to turn around, and 2 days later, it's going to be 20 degrees again, and all those buds fall off onto the ground. Right? And I call it a smart tree because this tree knows this. This tree knows this. 3 days later, it's because it dropped all its buds. Said, "Oh no, I'm going to rebud again." The survival for a tree is pretty amazing. It's planted in the ground. It's left there with no protection from snow, ice, wind, getting hit by a car, many things that happen to a tree. And I'm thinking, man, and then after this tree goes through this all summer with storms and it knows winter's coming again. And it says, I'm going to show these people my strength just before the cold. And next thing you know, these leaves turn into all different colors, reds, greens, blues, purples, absolutely gorgeous. And then he drops them all. He drops them all on the ground. Why does he do that? Because he knows there's a heavy storms coming the way through the winter. And he figures, man, if I leave these leaves on my tree, it's going to cause a lot more weight, snow sticking on it. I told you this is a silly one today. And then I start really thinking about a tree, not protected by anything, by God. And it sits there all by itself. It grows over the years. Some trees live to be 1,000 years, and they grow to ungodly lengths in the sky, and they're always going up. And there's a reason for that. All right, that's where the love is, up. Now, when you talk about trees, why are they so strong? Yeah, we get earthquakes or tornadoes that might knock a tree over. But even though you knock that tree over, the roots are still in the ground. The roots are still growing. I actually studied a couple things last night and this morning about, a lot of people say, oh, the roots got into my plumbing. In reality, a root comes up to a wall, a foundation, or a plumbing, and it reroutes itself. What's it's doing? It's looking for nutrients, minerals, so that tree can stay strong. And then I read a part that says it will go under a foundation of a home and it'll rise it up, which of course for us homeowners, we don't necessarily like that because that's going to be a big repair. But when I heard this tree's smart enough to go around something and then rise it up, that's how I look at Ashmafara. His roots in this family of this great business go very deep and they go wide. They hit every part of the world. And each one of those roots, who by the way are us, are collecting the good minerals, the good nutritions, the good to make sure that we stand strong no matter what storm comes at us. When I was a kid, we used to climb trees all the time, and I'm thinking that tree's protecting us. It's got to be strong because 10 of us climb this tree and we don't want to break a branch and fall. There's a lot of ways I can do this. And then our branches go out all over the place, being touched by everything good. The foundation that a tree builds is in its rooting system. And that rooting system comes up and makes that trunk get bigger, stronger, because that tree knows no one's going to help me. All right? No matter what I face, I got to do this. I got to fight the winds, the snow, the freezing temperatures. But yet I'll be back to show my beautiful leaves and the colors and the strength that I've had. This is Onpassive. Onpassive has gone through the storms. It's gone through the hurricanes, the winds, the freezing temperatures, the cars hitting it. No matter what, Onpassive has had everything come at it at once, and it's solid as a redwood tree because the foundation that Ashmafara built for his tree goes everywhere. And that's where the strength of a tree lies. If it doesn't have those minerals and nutrients underneath, way below, far and wide, that tree's going to die. Ashmafara, through all of us, he's got those minerals and those nutrients, and we're feeding that tree constantly with love, compassion, showing how much we believe, the faith we have. And this is my silly story for the day. I have to relate in my life, not the bad, not the news, but the good that's coming out of Onpassive. And if I could just hear someone talk about lightning hitting a tree and then going out and just looking at my tree thinking, wow, there's a story there. And I can relate this story. We've also say, I used to say, you got to be the tree. You got to be the tree. Because a tree stands tall, it's strong. And it doesn't care what anyone thinks. That tree is going to complete its cycle every year for thousands of years, whether I say, man, I really don't like that tree. Man, I don't really believe in that tree. Now, a tree can be cut down, but those roots kind of still keep growing. Unless you dig those roots out and kill them, it'll keep growing. And that's exactly what's going on with Onpassive. We had some people come at us that wanted to hurt us or damage us. But guess what? Our roots are so deep. And we're going under foundations every single day, and we're rising them up. As far as founders, we're not breaking anything. We're not wrecking anything. But be that tree. Be the tree that Amplify wants us to be. The strength, faith, not worrying about what's around you, not worrying about what's coming at you. You know, Raphael today said a prayer about looking up. All right, where do trees go? They go up. They're looking for God's love, that sunshine, that warmth. That's what I feel like when I talk about this company. Warmth and sunshine, because even though I know those leaves are going to fall, it's going to come back again. This is Ashmafara. He hasn't given up. He hasn't stopped. He's not going to give up. But sometimes we got to wait a little bit before those leaves start blooming again. And you got to think like that. I know what's coming. Marty knows what's coming. You should know what's coming. Be a tree. Be love, happiness, strength. And let's just do this. I told you it was a crazy, silly story. But plant your roots in the ground. Create a passage through you that touches everyone, that gets the good out of everybody. When that tree, like I said, runs into a wall or a street of cement, what does he do? The roots go this way or they go that way. They're not going to deal with that. They're going to find the good stuff. And that's exactly what this company is doing. Marty DeGarmo, my silly story is over. There you go.
It's a story. You're the one that called it silly. I thought it was pretty good. Hey, I want to add something else. So, and I learned this from. I was fortunate enough to meet Les Brown one time, 20, 30 years ago, and I jumped in next to him and got his autograph on some cassettes. In fact, I was sitting next to Gladys Knight. That was his wife. I didn't even know it. I knew who she was when I saw her, but no. The point was he talked about the bamboo tree. When it's a nut that you put in the ground, and it takes a long time, a lot of work, a lot of nurturing. Chris reminded me of this. It takes fertilizer, it takes rain, you got to water. It just takes a lot of work before you see it break ground. That's the company we're in right now. All this work, you say, what's going on? What's going on? But let me tell you what happens. Once the plant comes through and sees that sun, did you know bamboo, some species, can grow 3 feet a day, 1.5 inches an hour? You can almost see it moving. That's the difference. And I believe our company right now, looking at it, and I don't think I could explain it any better. Watering it, water it, and people coming up. What are you doing? You're in the middle of a dirt spot. There's nothing there. You go out there with the water. You're putting dirt down. You got fertilizer there. You look like an idiot out there doing this, Mr. Mufar, and you got a group of people standing around and nothing happens. Day after day, week after week, year after year. we're going to see Jack and the Beanstalk soon, right? Because once it breaks free, all that work done in the roots, under the ground, to make that oak tree so it doesn't sway. It can take the wind and the rain, like Chris said, beats up against it. It don't move. It's not like it wouldn't move because it's the roots holding on. The roots of it are so strong. You ever try to cut a tree off and just pull the stump out? I see guys rip their bumpers off, pull the back of their truck off. I mean, they're in like cement. But I want you to look at this company like the bamboo tree. All of it that went on, and during this time, the really cool stuff? We're playing over in the playground while Ash is working on getting this thing launched, getting this thing to grow. And we look back and go, nothing yet. I don't know why you don't do this, and I don't know why you don't do that. By the way, no matter how much fertilizer, no matter how much water, the bamboo tree takes X amount of time to break through the ground. And then it's craziness. And I believe that's what we're part of. I believe we're about to see it come through the ground. Before you sneeze twice, it'll be 6 foot tall. Next thing you know, boom. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you for inspiring me, Mr. Johnson. He's got one finger
Oh,
up.
yeah, but I just want to remind everyone, tomorrow I got the old tooth.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
So my appointment's at 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's about an hour and a half to 2 hour long procedure. I'm not sure. So we are going to schedule, we're going to go for 10:30 right now. If 10:30 doesn't come in, we'll post it. It'll be 10:30 or 1 o'clock.
One, yep. I
So
will keep you updated as he keeps me updated, okay?
I don't want to come out like yeah.
I do. I thought he came on that way every day, right? I mean, what's the freaking difference? Just kidding. Anyway, everybody, do yourself a favor. Go watch Les Brown and the Bamboo Tree. It's inspiring. Anyway, see y'all. Thank you so much for coming. I hope that we just give you a little bit to think on and work on. I'm so proud to be your friend, part of your family, and we ain't seen nothing yet. This hasn't even begun yet. Anyway, see you.